Floodwaters have devastated central Arizona, turning what began as an ordinary evening into one of the darkest nights the region has faced in recent memory. Heavy rains poured down relentlessly, overwhelming creeks and drainage systems, and transforming the usually quiet city of Globe into a scene of chaos and tragedy. By the time the waters receded, at least 4 lives had been lost, 3 in Gila County and another in suburban Phoenix, while countless others were left with shattered homes, damaged businesses, and a shaken sense of safety.
We gotta go up! We're done! We're good, I'm gonna die. Exhibit A of how Arizona is not made for rain. This is a golf area, y'all. Oh my god. Holy cow. It rained here all day, and this is like where the rain goes if it rains too much. This is not meant to be full water.
The heart of the destruction was Globe, a mining town of about 7,000 residents, located roughly 90 miles east of Phoenix. Here, the flood struck with terrifying speed. A torrent of water from Pinal Creek surged into the downtown area, sweeping vehicles off roads, forcing families from their homes, and swallowing entire blocks. Witnesses described the roar of the water as deafening, with tree limbs, fencing, propane tanks, and shattered debris carried through the streets. Cars were flipped, pushed against walls, and stacked along bridges, leaving a haunting picture of the power unleashed in just a few short hours. Inside the city's historic district, the disaster unfolded in real time. Restaurants and small businesses, many of them bustling on a Friday evening, suddenly became traps as the water burst through doors and windows. At La Casita, a well-known Mexican restaurant, 9 employees and customers found themselves stranded inside as the waterline climbed higher. One of the cooks locked the doors, trying to hold back the flood, but the pressure was too much. A floating car crashed into the back of the building, shattering a window and unleashing a surge of water into the dining room. Within moments, tables were overturned, dishes and chairs were pulled into a whirlpool, and people inside feared for their lives. Their only chance was escape. By sheer luck and bravery, someone broke through the front window, pulling the group to safety before it was too late. Other families were not as fortunate. Some climbed onto rooftops, waving desperately to first responders for help. Others scrambled through broken windows, clutching children as the water rose around them. Globe's vice mayor later confirmed that many survivors endured harrowing escapes, their only option to climb higher, and hope rescue teams would arrive before the next surge.
I get new glass. That's not his car.
Oh my gosh.
Mayor Al Gameros, himself a veteran firefighter with 30 years of experience, called this the worst disaster he had ever seen in Globe. The flooding, he explained, was made worse by scars left behind from the Pinal fire of 2021. Those burn scars stripped away vegetation in the surrounding mountains, leaving bare soil that cannot absorb heavy rainfall. When Friday night's storm unleashed several inches of rain in a short window of time, all of it cascaded downhill into the heart of Globe. What resulted, the mayor said, was not just another flood, but a historic event, unlike anything in the city's modern memory. The destruction was not limited to homes and businesses. Just outside downtown, a propane tank distributor was directly in the path of the rising waters. Officials reported that nearly 1,000 residential-sized propane tanks were swept away, carried throughout the city by the currents. Hazmat crews were quickly deployed, working urgently to prevent leaks or explosions. Thankfully, none of the tanks ignited, but the risk remains, and emergency managers called the situation extremely hazardous. As dawn broke on Saturday, the scale of the damage was unmistakable. A 2-mile stretch along the creek was littered with destroyed vehicles and debris. Streets were choked with mud, and utility poles leaned dangerously. Public Works employees in bright yellow safety vests moved cautiously through what dry pavement remained, clearing tree limbs and broken fencing. Excavators dug into thick layers of mud, while rescue teams focused on cars that had been swept away. Every overturned vehicle carried with it the possibility of victims inside, and the grim search for missing people became the top priority. Tragedy also struck outside of Globe. In the Phoenix metropolitan area, floodwaters claimed another life when a car became trapped in nearly 8 feet of fast-moving water in a greenbelt park. Overnight, as waters slowly receded, crews discovered the body of a victim pinned beneath a walkway bridge. The Phoenix Fire Department confirmed that the vehicle had been spotted hours earlier but was inaccessible until water levels dropped. The National Weather Service confirmed the magnitude of the rainfall event. At Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport, nearly 2 inches of rain fell on Friday, marking the city's wettest single day in almost 7 years. Since the year 2000, this was only the 4th time such an extreme total had been recorded in a single day. Meteorologists explained that the storm was fueled by a combination of tropical moisture and monsoon dynamics, producing rainfall rates that overwhelmed even well-prepared drainage systems.
These cars that I videotaped yesterday are still here, and looks like that one moved. Got the duckies.
By Saturday afternoon, conditions in Globe were eerily quiet. The usual weekend activity had vanished. Gas stations had only a few customers. Grocery stores were open, but their parking lots were half empty. Downtown, streets that would normally be filled with families, diners, and shoppers were left silent, broken by the hum of rescue trucks and the distant clang of cleanup crews clearing debris. Governor Katie Hobbs declared a state of emergency in Gila County, authorizing the National Guard to assist with rescue and recovery operations. She described herself as heartbroken, offering condolences to families who lost loved ones, and pledging state resources to help the community rebuild. National Guard members have since joined local crews in securing dangerous areas, monitoring propane tanks, and supporting residents forced to leave their homes. Even with help on the way, the challenges ahead are immense. Globe and nearby towns like Miami remain vulnerable. Residents have been asked to shelter in place as crews assess structural damage, clear blocked roadways, and search for the missing. Officials emphasize that the search and rescue effort must remain carefully coordinated, urging residents not to attempt rescues themselves. Volunteers eager to help were asked instead to support their neighbors and provide aid to families in need. For longtime residents of Globe, this event will not be quickly forgotten. Many recall flooding in 2021 following the Pinal fire, but nothing of this magnitude. This time, the combination of historic rainfall, compromised terrain, and overflowing creeks created what experts describe as a once-in-a-generation disaster. The scars of this flood, on buildings, on infrastructure, and on families, will take months or even years to heal. For now, the priority remains clear: finding survivors, supporting victims, and beginning the long process of recovery in a community brought to its knees by water, mulbud, and loss.
This is not good. Oh! Oh! Oh!